AFTERBUZZ gonna talk your favorite show.
Friendly hosts everywhere, humble talks about flirtation.
Going on down to AFTERBUZZ, gonna see my favorite host.
Ample thoughts day or night, people shouting but never fighting.
Heading on up to AFTERBUZZ, gonna hope we don't ramble.
We like those with big fat titties, man, I hope this show ain't shitty.
Come on down to AFTERBUZZ and meet some hosts of mine.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. What a great audience. We've got the South Park Weekly After Show here on AfterBuzz TV with Nathan and Mimsy today.
Shut up, Mimsy!
Who's Mimsy? Where's Steven?
Yeah, Steven's Mimsy, and he's not here. So shut up, Mimsy!
Gosh.
We have Steph Sabra.
What's up, everyone? I'm Steph Sabra. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Steph Sabra.
We have Christian Blatt.
You can follow me at ChristianDMZ.
And we're so amazing that we thought everyone understood it. However, we did get a lot of hate comments that we missed the fact that last week's episode of Doubling Down really meant the Trump supporters who doubled down on and supported Trump even more.
Yeah.
We thought it was so obvious that we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So
That's such a small percentage, though. And I feel like I'm so done talking.
You're just over.
I'm just so over them.
I just felt like, you know what?
But I agree, that's a good point. We
But
should've
because
talked
you guys
about
didn't think we knew it, look what you made us do.
Look what you made
We
us
had to talk
do.
about last week's episode before we talked about
Yeah.
this one. Overall thoughts on today's Nathan and Nimsy episode. Starting with the ladies
first.
I like this episode. I love the water bears. I thought those were a really cool aspect. They know I hated Heidi. I have a lot to say about Heidi, but it was a good episode. I thought they brought a lot of new things into it, and it was good.
Well, scale of 1 to 10, A to F.
7.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to go with an 8 because you know what? I love Heidi. She is so awesome. And look, we always knew how smart she was. We always knew how funny she was. But really, I mean, I feel like she's somebody I can really support and get behind. Starting with this episode, I don't know what I didn't see in her before. I guess it's always been there. She's amazing. So good on you, Heidi.
Let's turn off his mic.
How dare you? Why-
Everyone has an opinion here at the
Yeah.
AfterBuzz panel.
You're right, friendly host.
Without flirtation,
Yeah.
I mind you.
I enjoyed this episode quite a lot. I give it an A-. I thought it was really well done. Could have used some tweaking more a little bit at the end, but I found the joke amazing with the volcano erupting. Whenever Nathan and Nimsy are involved in this like stupid feud, because like Jimmy and Timmy never participate in this so-called feud.
Yeah, I love them.
I love that Jimmy says, hey, yours is great too. We could tie for first
Yeah.
place. And you know he means it. Like, he's like, oh, that'd be so great if we both tied for first place.
I do. That in the first part of the episode was my favorite by far. Just the whole science experiment. And I forgot that making fun of the NFL was funny. Maybe I do give it an 8.
There you go. But conversely, I know this is not going to be a popular decision. You can't really share pussy, nor would you want to. So I understand Nathan's perspective
Yeah.
that you can't
You know,
tie for first
but-
place.
I feel like in today's climate, I really can't comment on that.
I'll-
Let's just say hypothetically, it's possible, and we can move on from
But
there.
even Nimsy said you shouldn't use your power to exploit women.
That's right. Don't use your position of power to exploit. Yeah, so Mimsy...
Which was a good little...
Mimsy was speaking truth to power there. That was a truth bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you, Mimsy.
Well, I don't think Nathan was abusing his power. It's not like he was using the power of like, hey, you want your own replica of the volcano? No. It was just a magnet that was drawing the babes and the chicks and the muff divers or what, like all
Yeah.
When he's handing out the flyer to that girl, that's one of my favorite moments of the episode. Like, it's just, she's just like, okay. And he's just like,
Did you see her bite her lower lip? Or something like creepy.
I mean, hey, special. What I love is that like you could see the storyline overall with just the regular kids, but it's even more special, pun intended, because it's special ed kids.
Yeah, I love the confidence. I do.
Well, it would be confident if he just thought he could get a girl. But the
Yeah.
fact that it's that is
The science fair.
No, he just figures, and I jotted it down when we were watching because I love the phrase that Nathan uses that after they win, they'll be up to their ears in pussy.
Oh my goodness.
You know, who's gonna argue with that?
Again, in the current climate, I feel like I can't comment on that. But I will point out that I know it happens occasionally, but this was an episode without even 1 second of Stan, Kyle, or Kenny. We didn't see them even in passing. And it's so funny when you think back to when the show started. Of course, they were always there. And, you know, there were a lot of conventions like Kenny always dying and all that stuff. But to not have any of them in there, and it was still a great episode. I'm not even saying that. I like how they sort of juxtaposed how we used to always have the 4 boys standing at the bus stop. The scene with Heidi and her friends,
That was
including
fun.
Wendy.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That she really is Cartman now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have the other guys, but we did have 2 Cartmans.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure
the
did.
fact that it was funny because Heidi's the one that says "Shut up, Kyle,"
Yeah.
which we've gotten so accustomed to, obviously hearing from Eric. But you know, I will say this. Just backtrack a little bit. You can always use facts, Christian. So, when Nathan brought up his project, I did see a lot of the women or the girls in this case in the classroom applauding very enthusiastically.
Yeah, that's true. They were very happy for them. I feel like that's a very supportive group of kids, and they are legitimately happy for each other. Nathan doesn't, you know, he has a different path that he walks on with Mimsy, and I think he needs to have everybody's support, not just the special ed girls.
Quick little sidebar. Favorite Nathan and Nimsy episode?
Oh my gosh, I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
I mean, how dare you if you don't say Camp Tartica?
Yes, now that
I
you
didn't
mention
know the
it,
name of that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm afraid to try and think of one that's
They
better than
haven't
that.
been in the past few seasons.
It's been a while since we've seen.
I think they were in the last season.
Were they?
I am. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Well,
Weren't
now I
they,
have to come up with a list.
weren't they
so-
part of the wacky races?
Yes, they definitely were.
See?
You're right.
Oh.
And then you go back to like the Special Olympics, they were part of that. And,
Yeah.
So yeah, but Special Olympics, that's going back.
They're
years
a
and
great
years.
duo, though.
Indeed. All right, so we'll put a pause on the water bears in the NFL because we'll come back to that, which is absolutely ridiculous. The through line of this entire season is Cartman and Heidi. Heidi, vegan.
Is she vegan, though? Because the whole time I was wondering, is she still getting fed
Yo, she's still eating
KFC, Beyond KFC?
Beyond KFC.
100%. 100%.
So she's not vegan.
Well, she thinks
She
she's
thinks
vegan,
she is, yeah, okay.
but she's definitely not, unfortunately. And I love the line where basically you kind of become who you date.
Yeah.
It's very true. So watch out. And Cartman is what Cartman is.
And it's so funny because when we were first watching it, I actually paused and I said to Steph on last week's show, somebody said that it'd be great if we see her turn into a female car. I actually don't remember who said it. It was probably Ian, but
Yeah, who said,
I don't remember who said it because
It's not like we have it on tape. Jesus, if
Yeah.
only we could go back.
well, I forgot to watch the after show for our after show, so I forgot. But yeah, but anyway, and it was just that was such a great moment when she sits down at the table and she's just like, what? Say it that I'm fat, and then the confrontation with Mr. Mackey. And Mr. Mackey has the best line. Well, not the best line. He's a great line in the episode. It's like, she's like Cartman, but she'll follow through. And PC Principal was like worried, and that's why obviously they caved and they were going to cancel the special ed science fair. So I hope that they keep her like Cartman at least for a little while. Because the idea of a Cartman that could actually get things done, it's just going to be
frightening.
but it's so funny for the show.
Yeah. Well, it's also what I love is the complete role reversal. So with them utilizing the 4 girls as the 4 guys.
Yeah.
And then just Cartman being so enthusiastic. Hey, what's going on? Nothing. Just
Yeah,
my
yeah,
girlfriends.
that was-
just talking about this. It's just amazing. And could it be that Cartman gets hurt throughout all of this.
Well, even at the end when he was like, I just don't know why you would swallow a jar of microorganisms
that were showing intelligence.
Yeah. I was like,
I mean, even
okay.
Cartman was like, no, you out Cartman. Also, the moment where they're at the bus stop and Cartman shows up, and then Heidi reacts the way that Cartman has all season, where she just like rolls her eyes and like, hi, babe.
Yeah.
Just talking to my girlfriends about tiny homes. And I think that, maybe, just maybe, at the end of this season, Cartman is going to be like how Heidi was last year. He's going to be very evolved, and Heidi's just going to be Cartman.
Is this a commentary? I know this is not going to be a popular decision. I'm sorry. You. By the way, don't forget you had a thought, and I forget what the thought is. But anytime, feel free to throw it out. But I feel like it's commentary on marriage that we've seen, whether in movies or TV shows, where it's where basically like the guy stops caring, the fatty wife eventually comes into the picture, and she's nagging and she's annoying. Is this a commentary on sort of that progression, and is it really the guy's fault, based on what South Park is saying?
Well, I think this is a very unique case because it is absolutely Cartman's fault because he's feeding her chicken that clearly her body can't process.
Yeah.
But I think that Heidi's not fighting it. She turned into the skid, and she's embraced her inner Cartman. And I think he is at fault, but not entirely at fault. I think... she's look, you just get really comfortable in a relationship sometimes, and clearly Heidi is super comfortable.
I was telling them Heidi is I feel like she's the metaphor for Taylor Swift right now, because Taylor Swift was young and she started out sweet, and then all of a sudden stuff happened to her, aka Cartman, or aka the
John
Kardashians.
Mayer. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, or all her other exes. And then now she's really bitter and grow like a snake. Heidi is a snake now, and I can't stand for it.
Really?
Yeah, you guys, I wasn't even laughing.
You're just as bad as all of her girlfriends. You're just as judgmental as Wendy Testerberger.
Completely, I am
whom we've
Wendy.
known since episode 1 is not a great person,
Yeah.
let's be honest. So,
Well,
you're going to turn your back on your friend Heidi. You loved Heidi so much.
Okay, but
Why
she's
can't you
not
try
even,
and help her be better?
She's not even listening.
Why she got to listen if she got good stuff to say?
Oh, that's a great
She
point.
doesn't have good stuff to say. She's
but
worse than Cartman.
But let's be fair. Clearly, Teresa lives in a trailer park. She just doesn't want to come to terms with it. So she's just speaking truth. Just like Mimsy.
Way. I'm so off of her right now.
So you don't think Teresa lives in a trailer park?
No, I think that they're trying to have a smaller footprint on Earth, like she said.
All right.
The lies we tell ourselves.
Oh my.
I'm just saying.
Do you like Heidi like this? Could you proceed to watch her like this?
Yes,
God,
100%.
it's so-
Oh my
Like, we're not talking about how we would want to date someone like this. For the show, it's great to have her like this.
But to Phil's point, I do think that sometimes either men or women, but I think it's more notoriously women when they're married, they start gaining weight and becoming like this. I don't know if their husband was a slob to begin with, aka Cartman, or not, then they become that, and then it's awkward for everyone. Because how do you go about that conversation telling someone that they've gained weight and lost themselves?
I think,
no, you don't. You don't ever say that.
I really wish South Park kind of went the full route. There's an episode of My 600-Pound Life where it's a decently, like, objectively cute guy dating, I just call her a fatty. I'm sorry. I'm going to get so much fucking hate mail. But anyway, but he is like Cartman where, this guy is just feeding her food after food. And the reason being because he believes, and he truly does, that if all of a sudden she got hot, she would leave him. So by keeping her fat, she's with him. And fat in that case is like literally 600 pounds.
Goodness.
Like it's
Wait,
insane.
this actually happened?
This is docu-series, yes. Look it up. My 600-Pound Life.
Well, I think to some extent that is what I think Cartman maybe subconsciously was thinking, but I feel like he was just doing it because he thought it was funny to make her eat chicken. I don't think he
it's
realized he was going to make his girlfriend fat, but...
I think it's kind of that.
Well, I think...
And that he's so selfish, he wants to be able to eat what he wants. He doesn't want Heidi packing him tofu.
Is that being selfish or just being true to yourself that you don't want to have your girlfriend pack tofu for you?
Yeah,
keep in mind they're in fourth grade.
But you wanting someone to eat the same thing as you because you eat that. Which, okay, she was selfish too. So.
I was gonna say, like, that's exactly
they're both
what she was
selfish.
doing.
They need to break up now.
Well, to be fair, let's not forget how this all started. She broke up with Cartman last episode, and then he's like, no, I'm just always angry. It's because of the food and blah blah. And she's like, well, really? Because we could eat together and I'll make your food, blah blah. So he's like, yeah, no, whatever I got to do to get back together with you. So
now are you saying she might be back to vegan? Like,
no. Well, she's never not been vegan. She just doesn't know.
She just thinks she's vegan. Yeah. Also, I mean, I think to some extent, Cartman was probably going to get over breaking up with her. I know he was crying a lot to Token and his family last episode, but I think the fact that she was hanging out with Kyle, that just it's like, oh, I didn't want her, but now I can't let Kyle take this from me.
Yeah.
So whatever he had to do, he was willing to do. And he's like, you know what? Maybe, because you made me think of this while you were talking, it's like maybe he does want her to be fatter because he doesn't want Kyle to try and swoop back in.
All the more reason why it was great, she said. Shut up, Kyle.
Oh,
shut up, Kyle.
Misery loves company.
That's amazing. All right, let's move on to the NFL here.
Yes.
Go Chargers.
Is it
the Los Angeles Chargers? Yes.
Indeed. So I guess here's the thing. I don't really watch too much football.
Neither.
I don't necessarily follow it, but that is, I have heard reports that ratings are a little bit lower.
A little bit.
Yeah.
The thing that surprised me is when all of the guys come in the Men in Black outfits, I was just like, why does that old guy look like Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys? I'm like, or is he supposed to be John McCain? I'm like, no, he really looks like Jerry Jones. And I was just like, okay, they just made him look that way. And I was like, oh, because it was Jerry Jones. And I thought it was a very funny thing to address. It's sort of been in the news this past week that the commissioner of the NFL has been trying to renegotiate his contract. Wants $50 million, lifetime use of a private jet. And he's kind of like, when things start to go bad, you ask for a raise, and you ask for these ridiculous things. But the company's not doing well. So the idea that they would have the water bears, and I was thinking like, oh, so are they gonna try and get them to play like a miniature football? Like, no, they just want them to be fans. And I was like, well, that's actually really funny.
Yeah.
And when they wore the little jerseys, they were so cute.
Yeah, that was so cute. And then he was like, it's a sold out crowd. I didn't see them until they zoomed in on each seat.
Which, when the Rams are playing at the Coliseum here in Los Angeles, whenever you see crowd shots, it's mostly empty. So I thought that was actually a really funny.
It is?
Oh, I mean, you could fit 100, 90,000 people in there. So it's going to look empty. But, I mean, it's full for college football games, so think about that for a moment. But anyway, I just thought they were making a joke about the stadium being empty. And then it's like, oh, no, there's thousands of little water bears there.
That was amazing. I love the commitment to kind of continue with that joke, because as they play, the fact that it's just so silent.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have fans, but if they're all just not doing anything.
And they made sure that they animated the action in the least exciting way possible. Like the players moved en masse very slowly. And
in the bigger picture of things, if you watch football in silence, and let's say that there wasn't fans, it does look like that. Like, fans are everything of football.
I think you're right, actually. And
one feeds the other. Like, you as a athlete, you don't really. It's hard to really get pumped up without the crowd.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the
It's
crowd
the
pumped
NFL's
up.
problem, though. I think it was funny that they.
So
made
not
that.
ours.
No, it's NFL completely. They've been messing up for years, and now they're finally getting less fans.
I mean, well, what have they messed?
All the sexual misconduct.
Well, they didn't bring that up in the. They just talked about the concussions.
Yeah, I know. But
I
that's
think
like
that's what I was going to say. Is that people are really troubled by the concussions.
Yeah. concussions. Yeah,
And
that's
they
the
don't.
biggest-
And no matter what they say, they don't take it seriously. You know, I mean, the Seahawks were fined last week because they didn't put their quarterback through the right concussion test. They
Yeah.
just put him back out on the field. So I think that enough people have seen this, like, especially when you see the older NFL players, it's so sad because you're like, oh, they just got the hell beat out of
Yeah.
them for only like 3 or 4 years, and look what it did. So I think it's that, and you know, President Garrison would tell us that it's players kneeling during the national anthem. I think there are people upset about that, but I don't think that that's why people. I think people were already turning away from the NFL before that, and I hope it's so that they can watch more shows here on AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I the way I look at it, when the whole concussion debate started, like, it's just so obvious to me. It's like, listen, I don't need science to tell me that doing that is probably gonna mess with your head.
And now it's weird when you're watching it, you do feel kind of guilty.
Well, yeah, especially if it's even like a hard hit where the guy does get up, but he's like, you know, they used to say like, oh, it looks like he got his bell rung, but you're like, yeah, he probably, you know, forgot the 4th grade or something because he got hit so hard. Like he doesn't remember how to do math or something. So, yeah, it does take away from the enjoyment, and I think that was a big part of it.
Yeah, here's my stance on it is, to me it's no different than extreme sports or wrestling or anything, you know, UFC. Like, as long as you know sort of going into it what you're about to get into, then it is what it is. And you obviously take as many precautions, but I think we all are, you know, obviously there's plenty of people who are adrenaline junkies, and football can be a form of adrenaline. You know what? Like, yeah, you kind of know what you get. It's backcountry skiing's the same way. Like, you know, you could probably get into an avalanche and die, and plenty of people do. But you know what? The high is so much greater than the risk that, fuck it.
Yeah. I do think that making the sport safer in the right ways wouldn't necessarily detract from the sport itself if it was done right.
Yeah.
Like, why is it only fun if you're watching someone get knocked 30 feet in the air? Unless you're like an 8-year-old boy watching video games.
I think watch the episode called Sarcast the Ball to really.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've commentated on this before in a sense, so I don't know. I get it. I'm not. Don't think I'm insensitive to people's like injuries, but
Look, it's a business, and if they could have made some money off of water bears, who would have blamed them? You know.
But hey, the volcano.
No, the volcano was very.
That was
impressive.
awesome. I love how they brought it in at the end. They're like, no, but we have this.
So he did have the best science fair project.
He really did.
Now, if only he got the pussy.
We
We
don't
don't know that he
know.
didn't. You know, after the credits rolled, maybe he was up to his ears in pussy. We don't know.
All right, this is a world I'd love to live in. No, but for Nathan, the fact that Nathan has
Supporting Nathan.
supporting Nathan, and then you know what? I think Nimsy deserves just as much,
Oh.
if not more.
Yeah, I mean, you
Nimsy's
know,
a way better guy.
anything that Nathan, you know, just tosses his way, he should definitely be happy to, you know, get some of his own. Let's just say.
Yes, no sloppy seconds there.
Shut up, Mimsy.
Alrighty, I know. Could you imagine this episode? I can't wait for people to pull it and be like, "Fuck this guy." Anyway. Oh man! Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap things out?
Just one very brief moment to go back to the bus stop. Just when Heidi was complaining that it's literally like being a slave, and she was
Oh
doing
my
the massa
gosh.
stuff. That was the most Cartman thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen anyone do. Even more than Cartman, maybe. Just
Especially coming off last episode when he was like, so when are you guys disrespecting the flag?
and was it stealing cars? or-
Yeah.
Flipping cars.
Flipping cars. That's what they were.
What did
yeah.
Wendy, she was like, no, Heidi, it's nothing like being a slave,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because Wendy and Stan were together for so long, and Wendy is definitely the Stan in this episode. Like,
Yeah,
she's-
good point.
Yeah, she's definitely making it. But anyway, so I liked that, and I liked when Cartman and Heidi said samesies, but those were just two little moments that I noted and enjoyed.
Those were absolutely great, and I love the fact that Heidi was the one who actually volunteered to do this.
Yeah.
That was before she turned into Cartman, I think, you know, because
100%.
she would have been more than happy to do it.
What's that quote? You're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself most. And Cartman's like 5 people, so Sounds
Are you saying that because he's fat?
No,
That's
because
terrible.
he is so much human.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
much human. Okay, quote of the night.
So much human.
All right. Well, speaking of, I don't know if it's a
Well, don't
compliment.
forget that we will not be here next week.
That's right. We will not. We will be eating Thanksgiving, so there may or may not be a new episode. I doubt it. We will
doubt
not
it.
cover it Wednesday night. If there is a new one, we'll cover it Sunday or something like that. But we hope that there,
But either way, we'll be back in 2 weeks, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Faux show.
In the meantime, where could the people will wish you guys happy Thanksgiving and interact with you guys and tell them how much you guys should hate me?
I'm thankful for the opportunity to do that. By the way.
I'm really thankful for that too. I'm Steph Sabra. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Steph Sabra. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
And I'm Christian Blatt. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. And you can find me all over AfterBuzz, Star Trek, Marvel, Trump Report, and here. So I'm around.
Feel free to follow us here at AfterBuzz TV, and I'm at Phil Svitek. And you know what? Happy Thanksgiving. But if you're listening to later, happy holidays, happy New Year, happy Easter, happy Memorial Day, happy 4th of July,
Happy
whatever
everything.
holiday we're in. Doesn't matter. Anyway, see you guys next time. Wow, what a great audience.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.